This is the Calabar Addiction Recovery Workbook, written by Dr. Ubong Abasi Udofia and Professor Owido Udofia. And this is a pictorial representation of the recovery path. As we can see, the recovery path, this will be explained to whoever is being lectured. Is going to be explained to the clients that this is the person's feet on the recovery path. What is the essence of this recovery path? As you can see, these stars mark out goals that are to be achieved within 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years, which simply means that a person who is on the recovery path is working towards these goals of a 6 month goals, my 1 year goals, and my 2 year goals. Now, the recovery path is a lifelong journey. You are always working and striving to achieve something at one point in time. But then, on the recovery path, we have distractions all around us. Distractions like our triggers, the things that make us want to use drugs, the things that trigger us to use drugs. They are saying, please, leave the path. Our cravings are telling us, come here, we need you, come. Our old habits are saying, leave the path, bro. Stop wasting time. Our old life is telling us, we really miss you. This is a huge deal of temptation. It should be made known that the recovery path is not easy, but working on this path is easy by applying all the principles that entails you stay on this path. Make sure you tell the client who is about to work on this journey that signing up by writing his name, putting his contact information, program intake dates is the first step to beginning his journey on the recovery path. I'm currently working and embarking on a journey to a place where I'm surrounded by everything I need and everything I want. I'm currently embarking on a journey where I'm going to a place where if money is my need, food is my need, whatsoever it is, I have it all around me. That place I'm walking to is my valued living. How do I track my progress on this journey? How do I know how close I've been able to get towards my valued living? We use the Value Living Questionnaire to gain clarity on how close we have gotten to our valued living. Welcome to the first page of the Calabar Addiction Recovery Program. This page is termed the Value Living Questionnaire, VLQ, and the instruction says complete section 1 and 2. Please note, clients should be able to be involved in these activities by giving them small tasks like read this. Section 1, rate each area below based on its importance, or to read the instructions, or to read out this. This improves their level of engagement in the particular section. So section 1, rate each area below based on its importance to you. How important is each and every one of these areas to you as an individual? Rating style follows as does. 10/10 would mean that this area is very important to you. Very important. 5/10 means that this area is of average importance. And 1/10 means that this area is of little importance. Example, relationship with my parents or siblings. If it's rated 1, it is going to be of very little importance, 1/10. If it's rated 5, it's going to be of average importance, and 10 of high importance. Now, it needs to be noted that it is not only average, little, and very important that you are rating. It can fall in between according to your own personal views and standards. Now, moving over to section 2. Section 2 says, read instructions. Assess the past 3 months. How successful has it been? Living according to your values. Values are those areas that you said are important to you. These areas. Now, the same way of rating the first one applies to the second one. 10 over 10 means you have performed excellently. 5 over 10 means you have performed average. And 1 over 10 means your performance was very poor. The same thing, it can be in between 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. It needs to note that this is only asking you for in the last 3 months. And this is asking specifically for your whole life. This is your value system. This is what you operate by. Looking at this, you would ask some certain people who are not parents or who do not want to raise children questions like this, or areas of importance like this that may not apply to everybody. In areas 2 or 3 or 4, if it does not apply to you for now, please circle 1 under the ratings in both section 1 and 2. If I'm not a parent and if I'm not raising any children, it can be circled as 1 from this instruction. But if it is important to me to be a parent and it's important to me to raise a child, I can still rate my level of importance. Moving over now, we'll be going over to an example, a practical example of a client's field VLQ. In front of us here is an already filled Valued Living Questionnaire, where this client has rated his relationship with his parents or siblings, very important, 10. Relationship with spouse and intimate partner, very important, 10. Having a spouse or intimate partner, very important, 10. All the way down to recreation and having fun, which was a 9, which is actually still important but not as important as a 10. Spirituality, 10. All the way down to physical self-care, diet and exercise, 10. This is the rating that he has put down for his first section. Moving over to the second section, he put for having a good relationship with his parent and sibling, he has performed a little bit above average, 6. Having a good relationship with his spouse and intimate partner, 1. The actions he has taken to have this spouse or intimate partner, 1. Being a parent, raising, 1. Attending social events and hanging out with friends, 3. The money he has made and saved on jobs he has done, 1. Education, I have skills I have learned, 3. Having fun, recreation, 3. Being close to God or any other spirit being, 3. Performing roles or holding positions in my community, 1. 11. The connections I have made in my states or in Nigeria, 1. Performing healthy activities, average, 5. Now, the first thing that we will have to see in this VLQ as the person putting someone through this is that every single area that he has labeled there is of very high importance. Looking at this VLQ already, you can see 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 all the way through. That means all these 12 areas of his life is very important to him. Moving over to how he has performed in these areas he has claimed importance, you start to see 6, 1, 1, 1, which simply means that in the area that he has said is of high importance to him, he's performing poorly in them. And this is generally impossible. Someone cannot claim an area is of high importance and you are rating it 10 and you are performing poorly in that area unless there is something that is causing a hindrance. This is what we need to know. Questions should be asked to the client or to find out Why is your relationship with your parents or siblings rated very high, a 10, but having a good relationship with those same parents and siblings in the last 3 months is 6? It's meant to be a 10 based on the level of importance he had put it. So what was his reason? Find out what is your reason. Why are you not performing excellently in an area where you have claimed is of high importance? According to this, you said that you care so much, you care deeply about your relationship with your parents or siblings, but then you're not performing as perfectly or as excellently as you should. Why? You said you cared so much about your relationship with your spouse or your intimate partner, but you are performing very poorly. Why? What is your reason? Now, most clients will want to deny or wouldn't want to agree to the fact that this reason is obviously the drugs. They will go around and be saying, it's because I don't really talk to my family again, it's because I don't really spend time with them, it's because... Find ways through those cracks. Find ways, ask questions. Why don't you spend time with your family as much as you used to? Why have you been distant? Why? Constantly asking that why would make the person think and see deeply the roots of this problem, which is the essence of the VLQ. So this is an example of a wrongly filled VLQ. We need to pay attention for when clients make these wrong feelings, you can even follow a client step by step through each and every one of these if you find out that the client is having difficulty understanding each part. You make the client understand what it means for your relationship with your parents or siblings. Make the client understand what it means. Each of these 12 things, make the client understand. He needs an understanding of these 12 areas before he can assert whether that is an area of high importance or little importance. Now, what are some of the flaws that this VLQ has, this wrongly filled VLQ has presented? Looking at number 2, the relationship with spouse or intimate partner, it's of very low importance. 3, rated 3 by this client. But coming over to look at the having a good relationship with his spouse or intimate partner, over here in section 2, you see he's performing very high. You cannot perform high in a place where you have claimed is of little importance. That is a problem and should be explored. Ask further questions to find out what is making you perform so well in this area that you are claiming is of low importance. What is making your performance spike? Is a whole 9 and this is a whole 3. You need to know that it's a comparison between this and this. Number 1 is relating to number 1 here. Number 2 is relating to number 2. So you pick one. Parenting or raising a child. He rated it of very little importance, 1. Which may also mean that he is neither a parent nor is he raising a child. Following these instructions in areas 2, 3, or 4 does not apply for you for now. Please circle 1. That's his 1 here. You come over to the same number, number 4. Being a good parent and raising my kid, 1, because it does not apply to this client. Another place where there was a mistake is at number 7. Education/learning new skills is rated of little importance, which means he doesn't really care about acquiring new skills or going through an education system. Coming over to his performance, education he has received, the skills he has learned in the last 3 months is on a rating of 7, which means he has performed above average here, a 7, although he doesn't really care about that area. He doesn't really care about education or learning a new skill, but he's performing well, he's learning new skills, he's getting educated. Why? You need to explore these options because these are These are critical points. Is very unlikely. It's very unlikely that an area will be of low importance and you perform well. You need to scrutinize, find out what is your reason for saying this. Why do you say this? This is a place where you ask questions constantly so that you can gain clarity. This is the first page and the beginning of this whole journey. It's from this page you will gain clarity. What is it that I'm not doing well? It needs to be noted that you do not point out to these clients or these individuals that the main cause of their problem is drugs. Do not point out, this is your problem, this is your problem. No. You are only meant to ask questions that would give the client clarity to see the cause of his problem. Now, before we move to the next page, there is an activity for each and every one of you watching this. There is one more value here that is filled wrongly. I would like you to point that out. Welcome to the continuation of week 1 from the VLQ. This is a section where we ask the question, or the clients are being asked the question, what am I doing here? Again, for client engagement, you should encourage the client to read this out to your hearing or to the hearing of the other people if it is a group session. There are legitimate reasons why people drink alcohol or use drugs. Example, it can help handle stress or distract them from painful memories. Let's be honest, so many people in the country use either alcohol or drugs. Since you're not the only one that uses alcohol or drugs, what are you doing here? This session is all about you getting answers to these questions. We all need personal convictions before we can move forward. The beginning of this journey starts with remembering why you use alcohol or drugs and if any changes at all be necessary. A client or an individual will have to go through the self-check category where he would be ticking from a list of 15 options which of them apply to him. Instructions: tick any or all of the short-term benefits you get from using alcohol. Note: short-term benefits. It should be explained the duration of short-term. Let the person not think short-term is a week and goes to tick something that has lasted him for a week. Short-term, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Instant happiness as one, feeling good right away. Explain. Instant happiness is immediately you take the substance. Immediately, instantly, the person is happy. So I was sad before. Instantly, after taking the drugs, I became instantly happy. Helps me to sleep. Helps me to deal with physical pain. I have physical pain. I use the substance. I'm okay. Helps me to deal with stress. I'm stressed. The substance helps me. I'm okay. Helps distract me from something that I don't want to think about. I don't have money. I don't want to think about it. I take the substance. I don't think about it. Makes me stop being too emotional. Helps me to stop having feelings. When I'm on the substance, I do not have feelings. Helps me handle loneliness. I'm lonely. I take the substance. I'm no longer lonely. Helps me to socialize. Helps me to relax. I take the substance. I socialize better. I relax better. It gives you courage. Under the influence of the substance, you have courage. It helps you have fun. It lifts your spirits. You have fun under the influence of the substance. Your spirit is lifted. It helps you to feel among, like you're truly one of the group. When you take the substance, you feel like part of them, the big guys in your group. You are one of them. It makes you feel high and mighty. It helps me to handle boredom. When I'm bored in the house, I don't have what to do. I take the substance, boredom eliminated. Helps me feel less depressed. When I take it, I don't feel as depressed as before. Helps me loosen up and be more exciting. When I take it, I've loosened up and I'm more exciting. Now, it should be noted that to the clients, not all these 15, this is not all the short-term benefits. He might have other short-term benefits, hence the provision for this space. A very proficient example like given here, he has ticked number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All of these apply to him, but he saw other short-term benefits. He should be encouraged that this client should think, what other short-term benefits do you have apart from these 15? Think about it. Let them take a little time to think about it, because most of the time something does come up. These clients here wrote, it helps me enjoy special moments. It helps me to cope with people and situations. One might ask, what truly is the essence of this section? Simple. This is the beginning point of a questioning system. You claim this substance causes you instant happiness. It helps you sleep. It helps you deal with physical pain. But is this really worth it? Helps you to sleep. Were you not sleeping before? What are you saying? Is it not now affecting your sleep the more? It helps you deal with physical pain. When you were having physical pain before you started using the substance, what were you using? Now have you not become more attached? Helps you deal with stress. What were you using to deal with stress before? How is this helpful? You are now using substance to deal with stress, and it's adding you other problems that would stress you, maybe falling out with the police, your friends, or your family members. So this is a beginning of a question system. We want you to see that, yes, you claim this is of great benefit to you, but at what cost? This is not the point where you question the client on at what cost is it that he is doing all this? What is this costing him? You would be questioning that subsequently, so you should just allow him to relax and feel this. Page 2, the continuation from the last page. My experience with drug use. Some interesting experiences happen occasionally when people use drugs. The experiences make you feel unhappy and you don't like thinking about them. Tick any or all of these events you might have experienced. There's a list down to 18 items of not so good experiences. I did not know myself for a while. He blanked out. I fell down, had an accident. I did something unsafe or illegal. I lost my money. I argued with my family, argued with friends, had problems with my health, had problems with the police. I was thrown out of my house apartment, physically hurt someone I care about, did something that was against my own values and belief system, lost control of my temper, damaged my reputation, I sold my property or items, I lost my job, I ran down my business/side hustle, I used up the money that was kept for a very important project/business, I found out that my problems were still there after the highness left me. Again, it should be important to give clarity as to what these different areas entail. What does it mean by you did something that was against your own values and belief system? Explain it. What do you value? What do you believe? I believe I shouldn't steal. I believe I shouldn't talk too much, and you end up going to steal to acquire money for something, or you end up under the substance, you start talking too much or anyhow. It should be noted that for this to be an experience with a drug use, you should have had this experience on the drugs, on the substance. This is not something you just have, I damage my reputation without drugs. It must be related to the drugs. Someone can come up and say, I have lost my job. You asked for clarity, because you can lose your job for any other reason outside of substance abuse or using substance. So why did you lose your job? Is it because you went to job and they caught you high off the substance? Is it because you were not really performing your roles because of the substance? You say you damage your reputation. Why? Was it because of the substance? You need to gain clarity as to why this person is saying this, because it has to be because of the substance that you have these not so good experiences. And then a column for other long-term benefits is provided. This client has ticked everything apart from number 9 and number 10 and number 15. Every other thing applies to him, and added other long-term benefits, which are NSGs, not so good experience. My memory became bad. It made me lack financial prudence. What is the main essence of a client filling out this form? The main essence for a client undergoing this particular exercise is to give that client clarity. Yes, these drugs might have given you some very good advantages and very good benefits to you, but at what cost? These are your negative experiences from what you claim is giving you good pleasures or helping you out. You are not going to outrightly tell the client comparisons as to, see, you were sleeping before, you're having good sleep, now you have lost your job. This is not the point of comparison. This is only for clarity. Let this client see that, oh, there are actually some bad things that have happened because of these drugs, or the bad things are even almost more or cost me more. It's specifically for clarity. Please, you need and you must know this. At no point whatsoever should you condemn your client. Your client is trusting you by telling you some experiences that he can't even tell his parents. So you cannot condemn the client, because the client will not feel comfortable sharing the necessary things he or she has to share in order to move forward in this program. Instead, be understanding, be nice, be helpful, flow with the person. This is page 3 of the Calabar Drug Addiction Workbook, and we are still in week 1. This section is aimed at letting the client by himself see the certain benefits and the experiences he has gotten out of using this substance. The client should be able by himself, not with the assistance of the coach, to see that even though I have these certain benefits, there are negative experiences that outweigh these benefits. By no means whatsoever should the coach say, see the benefits, now see what you are losing, see what you are benefiting now. No. Remember, everything in this program should be done with love and understanding. No form of condemnation whatsoever. It should be noted that clients can be involved in these activities by reading out the instructions. This page is divided into 2 segments, segment 1 and segment 2. Segment 1, my experience, the past and the present. In this segment, we are giving you another chance to remember and then describe your good and your not so good experiences with alcohol or drug use. Your answers will give you more clarity, and based on this personal conviction, note, personal, you don't tell somebody, see you, no, it's a personal thing. Because of this personal conviction that you have seen, the negative experiences outweigh the benefits, you can now decide if any change is necessary. Please let it be noted, nobody should push any client to change. Nobody should push any client to feel anything that is written there, unless it's straying out of way. You guide, you only guide. As a coach, you are guides on this recovery path journey. You are not the one undertaking the journey, so do as much as possible to play only a guiding role. Alcohol or drug use. Describe one specific situation for each of those short-term benefits you mentioned. What short-term benefits? These short-term benefits. Instant happiness, helps me sleep, helps me deal with physical pain, helps me deal with stress. These are the short-term benefits. So we are describing one specific situation for each benefit. I'm describing one specific situation for instant happiness. I'm describing one specific situation for helping me to sleep. I'm describing one specific for each and every one that you have ticked. What is the format that this short-term benefit should be written in? Let's look at the example. Benefit 1. So it should be written that I am addressing this particular benefit 1, which is instant happiness. Benefit 1. I used crack last month. Two things we have seen there. Number 1, the substance that was used. And number 2, a time stamp. A time stamp is necessary. Whether you are putting last month, whether you are putting 2024, whether you are putting last 2 weeks, whether you are putting specific days and specific dates is good enough, but a time stamp must be present. I used crack last month. In under 5 minutes, I felt so happy. Now, in under 5 minutes, he felt so happy to show us, because benefit 1 is instant happiness. Under 5 minutes. That means he felt happy instantly. Then, to what degree of this instant happiness? I can't remember anything else in my life that has made me so happy that quickly. We now know a degree. We now know that this is an actual instant happiness. Now, looking at another example written by these clients, benefit 3, and we know benefit 3, it helps me deal with physical pain. So we should be expecting something in the line of the drugs assisting with physical pain. Timestamp number 1. In 2016, I had an injury on my hand which needed immediate medical attention since I was bleeding and in pains. He has stated the situation and what the situation has caused him. Physical pain. Very necessary. You need to state, where are you? What is the thing? This benefit that you are saying it has helped you achieve. What that means, you shouldn't have had this before, and taking the substance has given you this. You were not happy before, taking the substance has given instant happiness. You could not sleep, or you were not sleeping well before, taking the substance is making you sleep so well, so perfectly. Now, looking at this, he was in physical pain because he had an injury on his hand. He was bleeding and he needed medical attention, but he couldn't access medical attention. So he smoked cannabis and the pain went away until the next day. Helps me deal with physical pain. Very clear example. Timestamp. Situation that has caused the physical pain, and then eventually the physical pain has gone away because of the use of this specific substance. Moving over to the NSGs, which are the not so good experiences with alcohol or drug use. Describe one specific situation where you had each of those not so good experiences you mentioned. Example, experience 4. Now, we are no longer using the short-term benefits. We are moving over to my experience with the drug use, aka my not so good experiences. This is experience 4, and under here experience 4 is I lost money. What does this have to say? 3 months ago, I smoked, I got so high, and I lost the 40K I had kept in my pocket. Now, this person has physically lost cash. You can also lose cash by spending on the drugs too much. You're still losing money. Another example, experience 17. Experience 17. I used up the money that was kept for a very important project / business. Last year, timestamp, my brother gave me money to open a shop. Situation, I kept on using that money for smokes until it almost finished. He has spent the money on what? Drugs. Practical example of a client. Experience 1. Experience 1 being, I did not know myself for a while. I blanked out. Last month, I smoked what? Ice, and on my way home, I fell on the floor and blanked out. It needs to be noted that this explanation given here for both the benefits and the experiences has to be written for each and every single one that the client has ticked. Under negative experiences, if the client has ticked 10 of these, then he should be giving us 10 examples. But if the client has ticked anything on or below 5, then he should give 2 examples for each of those ones he has ticked, from both the not so good experiences and the short-term benefits. Now, as you can see, the available space is too small. That is why we have provided spaces by the side of each of those segments for you to fill up. So for the place where there is the short-term benefits, a client can write all the detailed explanation right here next to the page. And then for the not so good experiences, a client can explain everything from he has ticked here onto this place here. Now, at the concluding part of this section of this page, the person or the client will be asked, are you bothered about these not so good experiences? If yes, why are you bothered about these not so good experiences? Now, in some cases, a client will say, no, I'm not bothered about these not so good experiences. Good enough. Now, remember, you are not forcing the client to say, you need to be bothered. You need to be bothered. No. You're only letting the client see things from a clearer perspective. So it's more or less that you are saying, are you sure? Are you trying to tell me last month you passed out on the road and you are okay with that? In this, and you that, you are okay with having an injury because of the substance? Are you okay with these things? That will question the client's integrity. It will question the client's mindset, and eventually he will come to see that these not so good experiences were actually not so good, and the question will be answered as a yes. This client had answered the question yes, and why he was bothered was because my not so good experiences were very embarrassing and shameful to him. It should be made sure that a client gives a real in-depth reason from his core why these not so good experiences are of any bother to him. It's of high necessity so that he can find out what is the core reason. Why don't I like this experience? What is it actually? For this client, it was very embarrassing and shameful for him. These reasons why they don't like the experiences can also be something to spur them to change. This is the final page of week 1, page 4. And as coaches, we'll be helping our clients look back, look forward, look inward, and eventually take a self-decision. Please note, the decision is personal. it is and must and should be taken by the client, not the coach telling the client what to decide. A. Looking back. When I was much younger, example 10 to 15 years old, where did I see myself today? I thought I would be. What did you think you would be? These are the questions you are asking the client. What did you think you would be? You are going to write that in 3 places. I thought I would be, this client wrote, I thought I would be a professional A-list musician. At the age of 10 to 15 years, this is what the client thought he would be. Note, the client is supposed to review. He's supposed to look back to when he was much younger at about 10 to 15 years and ask a question to his young self. Where did you see yourself today? This client wrote he thought he would be a successful businessman and he thought he would be a successful lawyer. Now, moving on to looking forward, the B. What do you want for yourself? This is the question you will be asking the client. What do you want for yourself in 6 months? What do you want for yourself in 2 years? This is the format the client is going to use to answer. Who do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in 6 months? And what do you want to have in 6 months? These 3 questions will be asked and should be answered for 6 months. In 6 months, who do you want to be? In 6 months, where do you want to be? In 6 months, what do you want to have around you? Or what do you want to have? The same goes for in 2 years. In 2 years, who do you want to be? In 2 years, where do you want to be? And in 2 years, what do you want to have? In 6 months, who do you want to be? What does this mean? Who do you want to be can mean I want to be a better version of myself. But what do you mean by a better version? What is wrong with this old version? The person or the client should not give blanket names. The person should state specifically, who do you want to be? If it's in terms of personality, I want to be more of a giver. I want to be a person that has more courage. In 6 months, I am somebody who has overcome anger and anxiety. Because this is also a question of who you are. Are you an angry person? Are you a sad person? Who do you want to be now? I want to be less angry. I want to be less agitated. I want to have high self-esteem. I want to be a person with high self-esteem. I want to be a person who is impactful. It's not I want to, it's I am. I am a person of high impactability. I am a person of great understanding and wisdom. That's for who do you want to be in the next 6 months. The next question is, where do you want to be? Answering the question of where you want to be in 6 months. In 6 months, I am in the United States. In 6 months, I am in university. In 6 months. That's where I want to be. Where do you want to be? I am in the United Kingdoms in 6 months. What do you want to have around you in 6 months? In 6 months, I have 3 cars and a family and a compound registered in my name. In 6 months, I have a Mustang. In 6 months, I have 1 million naira in my account. In 6 months, I have a team of people who share my values and work towards the same goals with me. In 6 months, I have a girlfriend/wife. This system of answering for the 6 months is applicable for 2 years. It should be noted that whatsoever this person is claiming to be or aspiring to be must be achievable under 6 months, so that it becomes something that is worth working towards. You cannot come and tell me in 6 months I want to have 1 billion. No, you make a correction, you give an understanding, you correct with love. Sorry, this here says 6 months. Can you make 1 billion in 6 months? Some people, if they can't make 1 billion in 6 months, I mean, there's no need for correction. But then, on clearer terms, in 2 years as well, in 2 years, I want to buy Nigeria. It's not, I don't think it's achievable. So, after that, the next question we will be asking is, will the alcohol or drug lifestyle that you had before coming to this program help you with these goals that you have written out? You will tick yes or no. After you tick yes or no, the option will always most likely be no. If it's yes, you ask questions further to try and understand the situation and also give understanding to the clients. Don't push any clients to pick anything, yes or no. He would pick it by himself. He or she will pick it by himself. The next thing is answering the question of why. Why would this alcohol or drug lifestyle not get you to these goals? Why? Because it will leave me with drug-induced psychosis and my dreams will be cut short. This is a client example. Clearly, he has seen the reasons why these drugs will stop him from achieving this goal, because it will lead him to psychosis and his dreams will be cut short. Now, we're moving forward from looking forward to looking inward. While looking inward, you need to note, looking inward specifically says looking inside. The client is looking inside himself. So all these questions is asked at a reference point to himself. For example, how do my friends or loved ones describe me as a drug user? Some clients will say, my friends or loved ones have never described me as a drug user. Good, thank you, that's nice. But then we are looking inward. What do you think your friends or loved ones describe you as a drug? You yourself as a client, what do you think your friends or loved ones would describe you as a drug user? You ask this question whenever they make those kind of statements. Oh, I don't know, they did not describe me. Now, there's a column that has been, there's a toolbox here that can be helped to fill this in cases of no clarity or whatnot. How do my friends describe me or loved ones describe me as a drug user? Next question, how do my friends or loved ones describe me when I don't use drugs? This is personal, inward. The client is checking, asking himself, what do these people describe me as? How do I describe myself as a drug user? How do I describe myself when I don't use drugs or before I started using drugs? How does this column help our clients? As coaches, you would let them know that this column is friendly, it's for them. They can use this column to answer the whole of C. This column says, as someone who will be left behind in life, not reliable, not to be trusted, a disappointment, can't achieve his goals, unproductive, not social, etc. Responsible, trustworthy, life of the party, can achieve his goals, can be looked up to, can encourage others to move forward in life. You can pick any of these and fill it in here. Looking at this example provided here, how do my friends or loved ones describe me as a drug user? Unproductive. How do my friends or loved ones describe me when I don't use drugs? Responsible. How do I describe myself as a drug user? As someone who will be left behind in life. You can clearly see he's taking most of or all of what is written here to fill this in. It will apply to each and every client. How do I describe myself when I don't use drugs or before I started using drugs? Can achieve my goals in life. Moving over to D, which is the main essence or part of the whole essence of this page. What have you decided to do about your drug use? Note again, No coach should force any client to make this decision or to underline or choose any of this. This says stop it, reduce it, no change, increase it. It needs to be noted also that when a client makes this decision, the client is allowed to change his mind later. This is not the final decision. So this example here by this client, he had decided to stop it. Why? The client needs to state his personal reason why, not because my family members will be angry. No, he needs a personal reason to drive him. And this client says, to help heal my brain and have a drug-free life. The whole essence of this last page of week 1 is to give the client clarity, is to give the client a sense of need, a sense of wanting, a sense of longing to achieve. See what he said he was going to be. Then please note, you're not telling a client any of this. I'm just letting you know as coaches the essence of this page so you know what you are driving towards. See what you wanted to be 10 to 15 when you were 10 to 15 years. Are you that now? The client will think it to himself. I said I'll be a professional A-list musician. How many tracks have I released? I thought I'll be this. How many businesses do I own? I thought I'll be a successful lawyer. How many law firms do I own? How many court cases? Am I even in law school? Looking forward, the client will now sit to set goals for 6 months and 2 years. This is what this client will start chasing. So it will also serve as fuel. So you need to encourage them to make very strong goals that can drive them. If they don't make strong goals, it becomes tough. It also gives clarity, like I said. The drug lifestyle he was living before cannot help him achieve this. He's clear. He's so clear to the extent he knows why. Looking inward is some sort of encouragement as well. Why would my friends think I'm unproductive? Why would my loved ones think that? Why would my friends or loved ones describe me as responsible without drugs? Even me myself, I say that I can achieve my goals in life when I don't use drugs. So why am I using this drug? And then helps him make the final self-decision, which can also obviously be changed later, to stop it, reduce it, change it, or increase it, with his clear reasons why. Now, it needs to be noted that at the end of every section, tasks should be given out to clients in order to, keep them working and looking into their manuals. Now, the task that should be given at the end of this section or at the end of week 1 is from this page. Now, remember, we are writing all the benefits and all the experiences that the client had ticked before. So the task will be to write one for each of the experiences and the not so good experiences listed. The client is going to write, his task will be to write all what he has ticked before. He's going to write with the right, correct, same formats for all the negative experiences and for all the experiences that he has, all the short-term benefits he has ticked. He's going to write all, explain all with the right format. That is the conclusion on the week 1, and I'll see you in an introduction and a continuation to week 2.